I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. It. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
Yeah, it does. Welcome in, kiddos. It's the Daily Puck Drop on a Monday, January 19th. The go-to guy is here, sporting the Puck Sports hat. We've got everything to cover. We got the Seahawks, Rams. We got the Hoosiers national title game against Miami. Michael-Shawn Dugar stopping on by a little bit later in the show. And a live Canzano report from the site of the national title game. Although, Jim Moore, we just got bad news. And he's probably, what he's doing right now, folks, if you're watching the stream, he's probably putting more money or less money. The news that Zach Charbonnet, we kick off Monday with news that Zach Charbonnet is done for the playoffs. Going to have a significant knee injury. Mike McDonald saying this morning, would not say, though, exactly what the injury is, but it's going to knock him out for the playoffs. So it's going to be the Ken Walker show and whoever else is going to be the backup running back. That's not how I wanted to start off the Monday show, Jim.
No, not at all. But the bright side of it is, look at Ken Walker and what he did Saturday night. If you get a performance like him against the Rams and then against the Patriots or the Broncos, then you're good to go. And you only have 2 games where you got to withstand that injury to Charbonnet. I know it's bad news, but it'd be worse news if it was Walker instead of Charbonnet, wouldn't it?
I agree, but look at you being positive, glass half full. That's the first time in your life you've been glass half full on something.
You know what I do every Monday morning? I listen to Mitch Unfiltered, right? And today,
never heard of him.
Today it was really special for me because you were on the damn show.
He wanted to do an emergency one because he's like, well, our Thursday appearance is outdated, so I agreed to come on. I thought I wowed the audience with brilliant insight.
No, not really. But Jackson Bevins did, the Cigar Thoughts guy, because he told me that at Michigan State, Ken Walker liked the workload. He liked getting a lot of carries. And so he's going to get all kinds of carries now. Okay. And you got to like that. And don't you always think, like back in the day, you'd always think, okay, you'd have one running back, one guy who took the load. And they got more into a rhythm. The longer the game went, the longer it went. Broke down the defense. So I like those kind of things going on here.
We've got everything to cover. We'll have to hit on. It feels like the Seahawks-Niners game was a year ago, and it wasn't on Saturday. I was there in attendance. Great observations. So many Seahawk and Niner fans leaning up against the urinal.
That just doesn't happen. That's just you always saying that. That goes back to like the 80s and 90s.
No,
There's not the hammered shit-faced Seahawk fans like they were back then.
I saw a guy outside section. Where does my buddy sit? 312, 310, I think. I don't know. He was by the right where the little taco stand is, if anyone knows what I'm talking about, and he was passed out on the floor. This man was a mountain of a man. Looked like Refrigerator Perry, for God's sakes. A mountain of a man, handcuffed, passed out on the ground.
God,
passed out on the ground.
What do you think he weighed? What do you think he weighed? 3 1/4, maybe?
315 at
so
least.
So what would it take to pass out? How many drinks?
75 beers and 30 shots for a 315-pound man passed out on the concourse. And my question, I wanted to go up to the officer and say, why is he handcuffed? He's passed out. He's not going anywhere. He's not a threat to anyone. And then they tried to make this wall around him because in this day and age, had their phones out wanting to take a picture of Refrigerator Perry passed out on the concourse.
Did he have Seahawks gear on and everything?
You know what? I couldn't tell if he had Seahawks gear on. Yeah, I don't know. I saw too many fights to count on the walk out of the stadium.
There were fights?
Oh, yeah. It was very, what you would expect.
It wasn't Seahawk on Seahawk crime, though, was it?
I did see one. Most of them Seahawks 49ers. I did see a Seahawk on Seahawk crime. But
okay, all right. So your perception of everything just lives on.
Oh, it's just. Well, you start a game at 5. People have been down there since, I don't know, 10.
Well, plus on a Saturday, you got Sunday to recover.
You got Sunday to sleep it off. People said fuck it, I'm all in. I am pushing all my chips in, just like you and I are on this Monday. We're inside the Limbeck Lumber Studios. We gotta get the show going.
That was smooth, by the way.
It was
really
smooth, wasn't it? Yeah, they can offer free deliveries, everything from whole house packages to homeowner DIY projects, largest stock moldings in the Northwest. Give them a call for all your lumber needs, 206-782-3487. Visit me on social media, Puck Sports everywhere except for TikTok. It's Puck_sports. And go to pucksports.com. Become a member of the Puck's Posse. You get full access to all the shows. And becoming a member directly supports Puck Sports. And you get bonus shows throughout the week. Jim is brought to you by...
Hey, Puck, I'm happy to be here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, thanks to Brotherton Cadillac and Shoreline, Brotherton Cadillac and Brotherton Buick GMC in Renton. With Brotherton, you can expect customer...
3, 2,
I've only been
1.
doing this 15 years.
Start
only
over.
15 years.
Start over. 3,
no,
2,
I'm not going to
1.
start over. I'm not going to start over.
You think
Brad
right
I'm
now is
sorry.
Brad's saying to himself, Jesus. And I thought about spending more money for him, but God, I don't know.
Don't you think you'd get better at this shit over time? I'm sorry, Brad, but you know what you can expect from Brad Brotherton? Yes, you can. You can expect customer convenience with online payment calculators, finance applications for pre-approval, and trade-in value tools to streamline the car buying experience. All right, so go visit them in Renton or Shoreline or at brothertonauto.com. You want me to go through one more? You can watch the Kraken today. Did you know that at the Angry Beaver?
2 o'clock. What a prime time to start a hockey game. 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
Going to be a lot of eyeballs.
King Day. Martin Luther King Day. So go to the
Dr.
Angry
King
Beaver. Get drunk at 2 if you're a Seahawks fan today.
Yeah, Dr. King did like himself some ice hockey.
Yes, he did.
Growing up in Alabama, one of the things that he really fought for, equality, justice, civil rights. Also, can we get some open ice time for the kids?
How cool is that, though? The Pittsburgh Penguins are in town. Do they still have that Lemieux guy?
Mario Lemieux he's not on the first line anymore. He's on the second line.
They still have him, though?
Yeah, and Yager.
Okay. All right.
Both
all right. Well, you can watch him on a flat screen there at the Angry Beaver happy hour. They got it all. Gluten-free menu, free shots of Jägermeister, say go Cougs to Matt Baker. That's all I got. I don't want to butcher any more of the reads, okay? Let's just get on with the show.
Well, it was inevitable, wasn't it? Rams, Seahawks, it had to be done, even though you thought there was a moment the Bears were going to go down and win that freaking game with Caleb Williams with the most dramatic, improbable throw I think I've ever seen. One of them.
Yeah, you think about all the best throws you've seen in your life. And I've been around for 68 years. So I've probably been watching, I've seen every Super Bowl.
Yeah,
okay.
You've seen them
all the playoff games. I can't remember a better throw than that one. Can you? I mean, and I know somebody will say, oh, that's recency bias and all that. Yeah. But those two Ram guys were all over him. And he threw that ball 47 yards off his back foot. And then there was Komet right there, just like, oh, thank you very much.
He's an incredible, incredible talent. I mean, I told Mitch, you heard it because you listened to it. I had worked myself up my panties in a tizzy watching that game, thinking, shit, I know we want to play the Bears, and I know it's the right decision we want to play the Bears, but Jesus, man. Now, I'm kind of nervous about Caleb Williams running around on us, making plays left and right.
Well, yeah, it's not just Caleb Williams, but with the Bears, don't you think they're kind of like they've got that kismet, that magic, team of destiny feel to them this year? Because there were games that they won. That Green Bay game, they shouldn't even have been in that game against them.
Got a lot of offensive talent, right? Komet, Loveland, Roma Dunze, Burden, Swift, and everyone loves saying it, including Tarico Manangai.
God, that kid runs hard.
Oh, if he had an open space to run, he would say, no, I don't want the open space. I'm looking for the defender so I can hit him. So I think when he connected on that pass and then they go and they stop the Rams, they get the ball back and all that, you're thinking, oh my God, this is like everything is lining up so perfectly for Seattle. The number 1 seed in the AFC loses their starting quarterback to a broken ankle. So now you're looking at, maybe if you play the Bears and then the Bears look like they're going to knock off the Rams, you're like, this could be the easiest path ever to a Super Bowl championship. Not to, take anything away from Chicago, and then maybe they'd give them a game, but they're going to be heavy favorites in that game. And then let's say Denver, because they're at home, somehow beats the Patriots, and now you're playing Jared Stidham. and the Broncos in the Super Bowl, even you're like, can you just get the parade now? Just give them the trophy now?
Yeah, I'm with you though. I heard you on Mitch. You're right. And you were saying the same thing. I think a lot of people are thinking those AFC teams, do they really impress you that much?
Oh, come on. This game this week, and I hope the national media would treat it this way. If they won't, because of New England being in it, they're going to be slobbering all over New England all week long, just because, especially like the show that all the shows that you love watching in the morning, they're all Patriot guys. I watched their pregame show on Sunday. My God. I mean, Jesus,
Who do you like? Which one? The countdown?
They had their pants down, and I thought, I mean, are you going to pay for the sex that you're giving New England? I mean, it was unbelievable.
The Sunday countdown guys?
The guys with Greenberg and those guys.
Rex Ryan. And
yeah, they were in New England. I mean,
they need Hasselbeck back on that. What Alex Smith sucks compared to Hasselbeck.
Alex Smith is no good. But I mean, they spent a second on the Texans, and I get it. They're in New England. It took them 35 minutes in that pregame show to get to the Seahawks game, what they did the night before. If the Cowboys had done that to somebody, that would have been the opening A block. But
how many interceptions would Stroud have had to have thrown before they made the quarterback change to Davis Mills? 4 interceptions in the first half. I'm thinking, hey, you know what? You who's their coach again? God, I'm drawing a blank.
D'Amico Ryans.
You know, like, hey, D'Amico, you might want to have your second string guy warming up a little bit here.
I was thinking that, but I was also reminded of a quarterback that we watched in this town throw 4 interceptions and then all of a sudden lead a comeback. And for a moment, Texans were still were in the game.
They were in the game.
So, I mean, as bad as he had played, he needed one throw to kind of, to turn it all around, and maybe their defense could get a stop. But I mean, the Super Bowl is this Sunday in Seattle at 3:30. That is the Super Bowl. Forget what happens the next week. This is the Super Bowl. This is the 2 best teams in the NFL. They've been the 2 best teams all year long. You can look at any stat, any of the normal ones, the analytics, the DVOAs, all of it. These are the 2 best teams in football. It should be treated that way. Every one of these morning, yelling shows should be on site all week in Seattle. They should all be on site Sunday. They should treat it like the Super Bowl, because the Super Bowl is going to be a fucking letdown compared to what you're going to watch on Sunday at 3:30. It's going to be a letdown because whoever comes out, whether it's Seattle or LA, they're going to beat the absolute tar out of that team in the AFC. They're going to murder them. I mean, the AFC should not even be in the game.
But where are you now as far as 1 and 2, Seahawks, Rams, Seahawks? Because a month ago, before the Seahawks managed to pull that one out at Lumen Field 38-37, before that game, most people were thinking, yeah, the Seahawks are good, but the Rams are just a little bit better. But now, a month later, don't you look at those 2 teams? I don't even look at them as 1A. Like, I would say the Seahawks are 1A and the Rams are 1B. But it's more like the Seahawks are 1A and the Rams are a solid 2 now.
I feel
like it's a horse race. It's not a photo finish anymore. Like, I think the Seahawks are going to cover that 2.5 pretty easily. Not easily, but win by 7 or 10 points, something like that. I just think they're that much better than the Rams right now. They weren't a month ago, but don't you think they've improved, especially defensively? Like, if I'm
going to use the whole season, and I think we talked about this on Mitch's show, the whole season, I think the Rams overall are the better football team. Overall,
well, I don't. Okay, I want to. I'll just finish. Go ahead and
finish, and then you can have the floor, Senator from Bend. Okay, it's my time.
It's your show, man. I keep forgetting. It's pucksports.com.
No, it's not. It's our show.
It's not jimsports.com. It's troywins.com. It's not jimwins.com.
It's everyone's show. It's the people's show. This is what it is. It's the people's show. I think they're the better overall team, but the way that they're at right now, the fact that the Rams, and Mitch said this, and I agree with him, the fact that they had to go fight for their life in Carolina, fight for their life in Chicago, on the road, now coming here, fact that Seattle's got home field advantage, their divisional round game was a cakewalk. They got their backup quarterback in with 10 minutes to play. They're so rested. They're for the most part pretty healthy, except for the news now that Charbonnet is out, and I guess still crosses day to day, but we'll see. I think they have it probably makes up for the advantages that the Rams have in some areas over Seattle. But I think the biggest difference why I give the Rams a slight advantage to Seattle's team is just the quarterback. Right? And it's the most important position in sports. There's not one person in the world that would take 14 over Matt Stafford. So that's what it comes down to for me.
Okay, but you're talking overall, though. And everybody in the world is going to give you that. Stafford's a better quarterback than Darnold. Everyone will give you that. But I'm going to question you on whether that Rams team overall is better than the Seahawks team overall.
Question away.
I might have said that a month or two ago. I would have said, yeah, I think you're right. The Rams are better. But it's just like when we looked at the 49ers versus the Seahawks. It's the same thing all over again. Yeah. Now, the Rams aren't as banged up as the 49ers, and the Rams are better than the 49ers. But whose defense is better? The Seahawks defense is so much better than the Rams defense that I question how you can say that the Rams are a better overall team. I don't think Stafford is that much better than Darnold that it makes the Rams overall a better team. Now you can say Nakua, and then I'll say, okay, JSN. How much better is Nakua than JSN? You could argue that JSN is better than Nakua if you want.
I think the receiving, the room of the wide receivers is better than Seattle's as a whole. Puka, Devontae Adams, and that crew is better than. Listen, Seattle doesn't have a number 2 like Devontae Adams.
No. All right.
And I think but
defensively, how much better is the Seattle's defense than the Rams?
I agree Seattle's defense is better, but how much better? I don't know. I think the difference between the two defenses is smaller than the differences between, let's say, Stafford and Darnold. I think there's a bigger difference between the Rams offense and the Seahawks offense. The gap is wider than the gap between the defense. I mean, they're only giving up 20 points a game on defense. I know Seattle's giving up 17.
Where are you with the Rams offense versus the Seahawks offense?
I think there's a bigger divide.
But points-wise, it isn't.
No, not points-wise. It's like the defense. It's like about 3 points difference.
Yeah, I had a hard time coming around to the Seahawks being all that great this year, but lately I've finally gotten there, and I think I don't want to say they're markedly better than the Rams, but they're certainly more than 2.5 points better than them. I've already bet on the Seahawks giving 2.5. I think that's a lock of the week already.
I think they're just slightly better overall, but because they're at home, because the Rams have had to play on the road. It probably is, as Mitch would say, it evened itself out.
You guys, like you and Mitch were talking about, Sean McVay is the X factor here, because what is he doing that Shanahan isn't able to figure out against this defense?
Well, I thought that was a little overblown by Mitch, honestly. To be honest with you, I mean, he only references.
Why didn't you tell that to his face?
I did say
right now behind his back. Did you?
No, I did. You got to listen to it. I said, well, I'll take issue with that.
Well, I know, but even
no one said anything. No one said anything about how Sean McVay mastered Mike Macdonald in the first meeting. Did they? Oh, okay, true. So why does no one bring that up? I do get a kick out of like, well, Sean McVay, he may have the answer to Mike Macdonald's defense, but then they're like, all anyone references is the last meeting and not the first meeting. The first meeting, they obliterated his offense. So I do think, now, I don't think that's going to happen again, nor do I think you're going to see a game that you happen on Thursday night. I think there's going to be somewhere in between.
Okay. And you could also contend that the reason Seattle struggled that night is because they had injuries in the secondary during that game with Reek and Kobe Bryant and Eamon Morey.
Yeah, and then you go back to a year ago. Okay, then this is the other thing. We just live in this revisionist history sometimes. Let's go back to last year. Okay, so the Seahawks won that last game. I'm not going to give the Seahawks credit for that last game. They beat the Rams because it was their backup.
Rams were trying.
Right. What about the first game in which Seattle? Do you remember what happened in that game?
No.
Okay, Seattle lost in overtime. 26-20. How many total yards for the mighty Rams Sean McVay offense? 366. Seattle had 424. So I mean, they didn't bludgeon Mike Macdonald's defense last year. He held them to 20 points. If you told me right now, would you take? Let me ask Seahawks fans right now, and you, because you are a Seahawks fan. You are the first. Yeah, you actually are the first member. You and
I saw the very first game in '76.
Of course, he did. You also saw the first game of the Pilots. I mean, you've seen it all. And the first game of the Sonics, and the first game of the University of Washington.
No,
so
I didn't go back that far, but go ahead.
Would you take 20 points and 366 yards for the Rams this weekend?
Yes.
So that's what he held them to last year.
All right.
In that first meeting. So here's the thing with my argument. Since McDonald's been the head coach here, there's more of an argument that McDonald's had the upper hand against Sean McVay defensively than the other way around. McVay's got one game compared to roughly 3 games that Seattle can throw at him. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Let's see you write something at Jim Moore, the go-to guy, .substack.gofuckyourself.com.
I know, but you were just saying that you think the Rams are still the overall better team.
I put
you're talking out of both sides of your mouth.
No, because I put so much value in the QB spot.
Okay.
In these games.
Okay, would you also acknowledge though that Stafford might not quite be the guy because of that sprained finger that he has, or was it the weather in Chicago that caused him to be off a little bit? And then and then all of a sudden you start
miserable there.
All of a sudden you start thinking, well, Stafford's not having the greatest night in the world tonight. No touchdown passes. Then he throws that out to Adams out there on the sideline during overtime.
One of the best throws you'll ever see.
No, the fourth quarter, their 90-yard drive.
Yeah, you'll ever see in a game. But one of the best throws you'll ever see.
Yeah. No, he's just, you're right. He's fantastic. And I think we can pretty much get over that Sam Darnold's got these mental hurdles that he needs to conquer, because I think he's, shoved those demons to the sideline. But it's the Rams again. And you're still going to go back to thinking, yeah, he led the comeback to the 38-37 win with, nice drives in fourth quarter and overtime. But he did throw 2 interceptions in that game. And, he had 4 interceptions in the first game against him. He threw 14 interceptions this year, and 6 of them came against one team.
Yeah. I think the Seahawks are going to win on Sunday. But I'll take issue with Michael, who says, you are wrong. Michael, it's not the first time I've been wrong, so F you.
No, why are you saying F you to him? Just agree to disagree.
I don't like it.
Just because somebody has a different opinion doesn't mean they're stupid. I get so sick of that.
No, I don't like him. Michael, I don't like what you're doing.
I love you, Michael.
We all love you. We're way better than the Rams. If not for the 4 turnovers, we would have beat them twice. Okay, Michael, I love you. Michael, it did take a somewhat controversial backwards pass to beat him in the last meeting. Did it not? Did it? Yes.
Okay, would you also admit, though, that if Darnold had only thrown 3 interceptions, they probably would have won that game?
I would say their odds go up.
They had a 61-yard field goal.
Other
thing? The Seahawks special teams are better than the Rams. They fired their special teams coach a few weeks ago.
Hey, Michael and others, can we agree on this one that both games could have gone either way? Can we just say that? Can we just agree that both games could have gone either way? Seattle could have easily won the first game, but the Rams did, and the Rams had probably every right to win the last game. Can we just say that?
They led by 16 in the fourth quarter.
Okay. It for them to really have a shot, it took a backwards pass that no one on the Seahawks team knew was a backwards pass, because it probably wasn't even called in the huddle as a backwards pass. But Zach Charbonnet, because he's a nice guy, picked up the ball. Maybe I'll just walk out of the end zone, give it to the ref, and they scored 2 points. Now, God bless him, he did it. But the Rams are saying the same thing, Michael and others, that, hey, if it wasn't for that, which we don't agree with, we don't think it was the right call. In fact, the whistle blew, so the play should have been dead. We would have won that game, and we would have had home field advantage. I think you can play it both ways. Can you not?
You can. You can. I'll give you that.
I think the crowd
I'm trying to talk you out of thinking that the Rams are overall the better team, though.
Well, you're not going to talk me out of it. That doesn't mean that
special teams, didn't that help at all with the special teams?
You're right about that one. Special teams, yes, give them an advantage.
I mean, you're not going to take their kicker and punter over Dixon and
I will say
and
this.
Myers.
Okay, so
you're
the
not going
Rams
to take their kickoff returner over Rashid.
Oh, you're right. So I'd say Seahawks clear dominant advantage on special teams, have the advantage on defense, but I would give the Rams offense a nod over them. Coordinator or head coaches, I think it's a wash. Yeah, I mean, it's just the thing that swings it in the favor of Seattle is that crowd. I mean, that crowd is just, I mean, it's unbelievable. I've been to every one of these big games that's ever been played in there, and every big game that you could say has been played in the Kingdome, and that was as loud, if not louder, than anything I could have ever been a part of. The fact that it started off that way and it just did not stop. It did not stop.
What was it like after that kickoff return?
It was pandemonium. I mean, I think it was just this tension relief of emotion, because I think people were a little tight a little bit. Oh, I don't know how this way goes. It's the Niners. And then I think from that opening kickoff and that message that was sent, that I think everybody just exhaled and goes, I think we're going to beat the shit out of them. And then they did. They just ran them out off the field.
Yeah, it was never a contest, really. I mean, 24-6 at halftime, 17-0 at the end of the first quarter. You never got the feeling that the 49ers were going to come back and get into that game. And I know Shanahan still held out some hope at halftime, I guess, but geez, it was a total domination. And I certainly won't be that way against the Rams. We all know that, but I just feel like they're gonna handle business. They're not. We're not talking about the Mariners. We're not talking about a team that we're going, oh shit, they might blow.
You think they're gonna?
How are they gonna
blow them out?
I don't think they're gonna blow them out, but I think they're gonna win by 10 or more. How's that?
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I just
like comfortably up 10, or do they need a last touchdown to be up 10, or what's that? Because that's different.
I just think the two teams that seem to be kind of like the Rams barely got by Carolina 2 weeks ago or a week ago. Okay. And then certainly lucky to beat the Bears. I mean, the yelling shows were saying, God, the Bears should have gone for 2 after they got that touchdown. And then that, DJ Moore didn't continue to run his route for whatever reason. And so Williams threw that interception. They looked like they were going to get the field goal. So you can also say, okay, games can go either way. Well, the Rams are lucky to be here. The Seahawks aren't lucky to be here.
Well, of course not. Well, I don't think the Rams. Do you think the Rams are lucky to be there?
Carolina was ahead of them with a minute and a half to go.
Yeah, but who's the better team, though? I don't. Whatever. I mean,
I know sometimes the better team doesn't win a game, though.
Yeah, I get you. I don't know if they're lucky to be there. I mean, I don't think they lucked out in the win.
Well,
where did they luck out?
Yeah. Well, what in the world happened? If you're the Rams, the defensive coordinator, didn't you expect when Williams threw that ball that when it finally came down, that it would be like a Hail Mary situation where there'd be 4 guys around it, and the white jerseys would have knocked it down, and that would have been game over. And then they just total blunder on that. So yeah, I mean, luck goes both ways. Okay, you're good with that.
Let's see. I would say though, I think you mentioned it. This narrative about Sam Darnold will pick up this week. I don't think it's over yet, because I think it will be a major storyline going into the game. Despite what he did in the last meeting, I still think it will be part of the talking points going into it. How much so? I don't know. How much time will we spend on it? I don't know. I do think, though, whether Seahawks fans want to admit it, it will be in the back of their mind leading up to the game and all game long, because everyone's going to say the same thing. So you can't say that it's not a storyline, like how he's going to play, or can he overcome the Rams hurdle if you say the following: oh, we win the game if he doesn't turn it over. Because that's what everyone is going to say. The Seahawks win if he doesn't turn it over. So you are acknowledging that the number one reason why they may lose the game this weekend is because of one player and one player only. So then thus that makes him the number one biggest storyline heading into the game. Is it not?
Well, yeah. Are you going to say that like everyone else? Like, I think we can agree that he's going to turn it over. Like those betting props. Will he have one interception or more? You want to bet the over?
He's done a pretty good job he's done a pretty good job of late, has he not?
No, he has. And then there's still the oblique issue that everybody be talking about.
That looked pretty good, did it not? Did it not look pretty good on that touchdown throw to JSN?
It sounded like it didn't bother him at all. And then just for our two eyes, just watching as fans, we couldn't see any difference in Darnold. But he acknowledged after the game that he feels like it's still going to be an issue in this game and the Super Bowl. So
he did not have a turnover in the Niners game, did not have a turnover in the end of the regular season against the Niners, did have an interception against Carolina, did have 2 picks there in the Rams game. So at least it's been 2 games without a turnover, but a pick against Carolina and 2 against the Rams in the last meeting. Now, I don't know, and I don't know what to trust anymore on social media, especially with AI. I really don't. So I hesitate sometimes to bring stuff up because I don't know if it's real or not. But did I watch a press conference with Kyle Shanahan where he basically just said that Sam Darnold was taking Toradol?
Oh, I didn't see that.
You didn't see that? Did anyone else see that? Because they asked him about Darnold's.
Is that legal or illegal or what is it?
Why? No, Toradol, you can take it, but you just don't hear other coaches talk about a specific drug that a player takes. And he just kept referencing it over and over again because he just said, hey, they asked him, how do you think Darnold played? He's like, well, I thought he played okay. He didn't come out for the warm-ups. And you could tell that, once the Toradol kicked in, it was, you could see that he was playing, more free, more loose. And I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of one of those, it feels like those unwritten rules of another head coach to not talk about another player injecting themselves with some type of, drug.
Well, yeah, his players are doing it too.
Well, yeah, and there's nothing illegal about it. But it just was an odd thing for Shanahan to say. And, he just... And that whole team, my God, they just so much fucking excuses. Trent Williams, we would have won if we were healthy. The Lenore, we would have killed him if we were healthy. Just take the loss. And
what's with Lenore going up and headbutting JSN like that?
Just way they are, it's way he has been.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, poor losers, man. Yeah.
Poor losers. So much has been debated. You already heard me say this with Mitch, so I'm just going to repeat it with you because you know where I'm coming from. Everyone's going to, who should raise the flag? I think my idea of raising the flag is the best one. And I'm going to.
This might have been a portion of the program where I wasn't listening to you. I tend to do that.
You hit the fast forward like 30 seconds. Just go.
Yeah. Who do you want? Oh, I liked your idea. Go ahead.
I think that this should be who raises the flag. Every time. One, they're 3-0. And it's symbolic because of what Paul Allen meant, because he saved this team to remain here with what he did. I would just have the video of Paul Allen raising the flag from one of the championship games. I don't care. It could be actually what you do is just do a matchup of all three. Do a matchup of the Carolina, San Francisco, and the Green Bay game. A mashup on the video board of him raising it, and then concoct something of where the flag is going up on its own. And it's the spirit of Paul Allen that is raising the 12th man flag. I think it's the best idea. I'm gonna die on a hill on this one. I don't think anyone's got a better idea than that. No, I don't want Jody up there. If you put Jody up there, then that means the bodyguard's got to come with her, and they've got to put a hot tub up there, and she's whipping the bodyguards.
We're going back to that again?
Yeah, she's going to whip the bodyguards as she's raising the flag.
It makes me laugh every time, though, I got to admit. No, I like the idea of having the video montage with Alan, but I would like the idea of Jody doing it, for her brother. Yeah.
Paul Allen. She has nothing to do with the team. She's not even supposed to be the owner of the damn team. She's supposed to sell the team. She's a weirdo anyways. I don't want her anywhere near it. And I don't want Burt Cole near it. Paul Allen, video board, just do a mashup of all 3 times he's done it on the video. Everybody just watches the video board anyways. You can't see the person that's doing it from the stands. Everyone watches the video. Just have Paul Allen do it. It's a tradition. We need to have traditions back in this country. It's a tradition. He did it before every game. They are 3-0. You don't screw around with being superstitious. Don't screw around with it.
All right, you die on that hill.
They have somebody else do it. They're going to lose.
You die on that hill, and I probably would side with whoever wants Marshawn Lynch to do it or Pete Carroll. I know you poo-pooed
on Pete.
You hated the Pete Carroll
way.
idea. I don't know why you hate the Pete Carroll
One
idea.
of the worst ideas I've ever heard are people saying Pete Carroll should raise it. How dumb is that?
You might not agree with that, but it's not one of the worst ideas.
One of the worst things I've ever heard.
Why? Why would that be a worst idea?
Worse than adding Utah and Colorado to the Pac-10.
No. Utah and Colorado were okay in the Pac-12. Come on.
Didn't need them.
Pete Carroll up there, win forever.
Didn't need him. No.
People would love that.
They fired him.
He needs to be cheered right now.
This is a great idea.
He needs a pick-me-up. I know he's getting $15 million from the Raiders, but still, he needs a pick-me-up.
Hold on. In this day and age, in the technology that we have, you can even do a hologram. Thank you, Rocka Drums 343, to have a hologram of him. A hologram of Pete. Or excuse me, of Paul Allen. I don't want Pete Carroll anywhere. It's no way. It's too soon. I don't want Carroll there.
Okay. But as Mitch asked you, down the road, you'd be okay with Pete Carroll?
Of course. Yeah. Of course. Paul Allen. There's only one choice. It's the ghost of Paul Allen.
Okay. Doug Baldwin. You think Doug Baldwin was okay?
Yeah, he was great. All right. Real good. Okay, last thing for you. Dugar's waiting by, and he's like, I'd like to get on with this instead of you two talking. Our bet tonight is what? Do I have Indiana minus 8.5?
Yeah, I think you tried to chisel it down to 8, but I think it was 8.5 at the time. But 8's fine because Miami's probably going to win outright anyway.
Okay, so what am I doing? Is it 8 or 8.5?
Let's call it 8.
Okay. Big day tomorrow. I don't think he's going to get in, but a reminder, Felix Hernandez, Baseball Hall of Fame announcement tomorrow. The King is tracking in the right direction, kiddos. 51% of the ballots are in. He's on 57%. Now he needs like 194 votes to get on to make 75%. He's not going to get it, but he's going to be on a lot of votes tomorrow, and it's a real great sign for the next year.
It's really surprising, though, even for us as Mariner fans, because we always thought that as great as Felix was, that maybe he wasn't quite good enough to get into the Hall of Fame. And now we're finding out that he probably will get in. Can you imagine how emotional that Hall of Fame induction speech and acceptance speech will be with Felix standing there? He won't get through it.
He'd have one of the best speeches of all time. All right, one last thing before you go. Ryan Divish has jumped in, #FadeJim. He doesn't like any of your bets. He says now that you're taking the Seahawks with both hands, he's going to take the Rams.
Do I have to remind him about all the big bets that I've won in the past year? Do I have to remind him about that?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know.
Okay, so he's going to take the Rams.
Oh, God, another last thing. Sorry, Mike. Catch or not a catch in that Bills-Broncos game? Catch, right? Should that not have been ruled a catch and down by contact?
Well, I bet on the Bills, so of course I was leaning toward a catch. Can you believe they fired McDermott? I mean, Sean McDermott, all the success that he's had
That's a pretty cold league, man. You go look at his winning percentage and look at his success, and I know they're going to say, well, he never got to the championship or never got to the Super Bowl, but Jesus, man, all the guy did was win there.
I hope they hire a shitty coach, and they're shitty now.
I really felt bad, and I watched all of it. The Josh Allen press conference, boy. You talk about it. You talk about a guy taking it hard, man. Taking it hard. And again, he was the biggest reason they lost. He's also the biggest reason they were there in the first place.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but I thought it was a catch.
A hug? You wanted to go up there and go like, hey, Josh, it's okay. Now, if somebody had been like the Jacksonville reporter to Josh Allen, that would have been okay. That would have been okay.
Son, you don't got to worry.
No,
you've done Buffalo proud.
Don't you pull for him, too? Going from Wyoming to what he's done in the NFL?
We all like him, yeah. All right. Best of luck to you tonight. You got the Hurricanes plus the 8. Give me the fighting Mike Gastineaus and the Indiana Hoosiers, and hopefully Kurt Signetti and the crew blow them out. We'll talk to you back next time on Wednesday.
Okay, Puck. Take care. Go Cougs.
Go Cougs. There he is, the go-to guy, Jim Moore, with us Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Now we get more in on the Seahawks. It's the Dugar Report with the one and only Michael-Shawn Dugar from The Athletic, all brought to you by Georgetown Brewery.
Drink Georgetown Tavern Beer, your new locally brewed domestic-style lager. 4.2% alcohol. Cheap, good, local.
Michael-Shawn Dugar, my apologies to you for being tardy. Your time is valuable. My time is not. You got stuff going on. You don't need us babbling about point spreads and Josh Allen. How are you, sir? Good. Give us the latest here before we get into the game last week and now previewing ahead. Give our listeners, our viewers, the latest on Zach Charbonnet.
Yeah, Mike McDonald just told us that Zach suffered a significant knee injury. Those were his words against the 49ers. He's done. He needs surgery. He called it that Zach will need to be on a good long road to come back, which is usually not great. And then my colleague at The Athletic, Jeff Howe, is reporting that it's a torn ACL for Zach. So that's, Schefter has that as well. But, I'm a company man. So, yeah, my colleague Jeff has it. That he's that Zach tore his ACL. Which that's rough. That could lead into. I just hit my editor up because we got a little news story up that affects the present and the future. Ken's a free agent.
Yeah.
That becomes almost a must sign now. But then, in the present, they don't have a lot of guys who have touched the ball much in the backfield this year. I'm looking at the rushing breakdown for the Seahawks now. Zach took 189 carries, including the playoffs. Ken 240. The next highest is Sam at 35. Halani taking 22. He's on IR. He can come back though. Velus Jones Jr. Looks like 10. It looks like he took 2 on Saturday. So it's not a lot of experience there in the biggest game of the year.
Let's circle back to that just a quick second, but let me do the proper introduction for you. The Dugar Report, Michael-Shawn Dugar, of course, of The Athletic. Athletic.com. Follow him on social media at Mike Dugar. Listen to him. Watch him. Seahawks Man to Man podcast, wherever you get your podcast, and check out his new book. It's been out for a while, The Franchise Story about the Seattle Seahawks. So Charbonnet's out, ACL tear. So not going to be available, obviously, for the playoffs. Probably going to, we'll go into next season there as well. The immediate impact for this weekend. So who is the backup? Because it was Jones last week. And remind me, is Akers still on the practice squad?
Yeah, so Ken Walker, Zach Charbonnet, and Velus Jones Jr. I hope I'm saying his first name right.
Yeah.
They were the 3 active running backs on Saturday night. And then, yes, Cam's still on the practice squad. Jones is still on the practice squad as well. He just got elevated. And so George Halani is still on injured reserve with a hamstring injury from week 12 against the Titans. He has not had his practice window opened yet, but I just got told, actually, a text message 2 minutes ago that he can potentially return, like physically. But I think the issue so far has been you only get, I think, 8. You can only put 8 guys on IR and then designate them to come back, like actually activate them back to the team during the year. And you get 2 more when you make the playoffs. I believe with Elijah being, if Elijah Royal gets reactivated, that'll be 8, and then they'll have 2 more. But I think that's why George, Elijah, Chaz Surratt, who I forget what his injury is, but he's on IR as well. I think that you got to play the numbers game. Probably why Charles Cross wasn't put on IR, right? Because then you're burning a return. You want to be able to have those. So I think George is actually, I just got a text. George is good to he can. I don't know. He hasn't practiced. That's a hamstring. That's tricky. Okay. So those are kind of their options, and they can get tricky. Jax has carried the ball a few times this year. Rashid Shaheed has had a lot of success in limited, role carrying the ball. They're not like screwed, but they're, Zach was taking a lot of carries, so that is a lot. That's a void there before we even get in the pass pro part of it.
Yeah, that's right. Because I think people don't understand. I mean, when they get in their 2-minute offense, he's the guy there because of what he does in the pass blocking game. But 184 carries this year, nearly 1,000 yards. It's 730 yards the season. We got 12 touchdowns. 12 touchdowns. That's what you're losing in Zach Charbonnet. And then the passing game. You talked about the pass pro, but also a weapon out of the backfield. 20 catches for 144 yards. This is the impact that – how about this? Tell people, what's the impact that maybe people don't see besides just the handoffs and the touchdowns and all that he provides?
Here, I can tell you right now, Sam Darnold was sacked against the 49ers. They had 2 sacks, and one of them was given up by Ken. Right, like that's so 50% of the sacks taken by their quarterback in the playoff game was given up by the running back, who doesn't usually do pass pro. Right, so I think you got to get really creative there because you want Ken on the field, but you don't want him. You don't want to screw up the protection and necessarily get him on Jared Verse or something like that on a 3rd and 7 in a big spot. Like you need that. Every team has that pass blocking guy. I mean, some teams use a tight end. I remember the Bengals used to do that to protect Burrow a few years ago. I think they still do. So you can get creative, but not having like with Zach, you just have the answer. He's there for all your 3rd down meetings, all your blitz pickups. Like he's your number 1 back in those situations. So like Ken can do it, but I think that's the bigger void more than the touches as a running back.
Is that this might be a dumb question, but it's me, so I ask dumb questions. Is that something that Robbie Oots could do?
Yes. Thank you. I forgot about Robbie. Yeah. So Robbie, Brady, Russell, your fullbacks and your tight ends. Okay. Yep. That's probably what actually now I think about it's probably what they will do is have Robbie be the 3rd down back because he can catch as well if you need, because you still want to keep the integrity of your scheme, right? It's 3rd and 7. You don't want to just think, all right, they know this guy's staying in, because that's how a lot of edge rushers and blitzers have their keys off of. It's like, all right, if the back stays, I'm blitzing. The back goes, I'm in coverage. So there's a lot of if-thens with on pass rush situations. So if you have Robbie in there, whoever's on him, a backer, a blitzing safety or whatever, you still got to respect it. Like, hey, 40 could leave and go catch a pass. So I got to be disciplined. So yeah, I think Robbie's probably the answer, but we'll see. They haven't had Robbie do that all year, right? So now you're asking the rookie to do that in the NFC Championship game. Like everything is just magnified because of the circumstances of the game.
I'm going to go back. We'll go into the Niners game, and then we'll look at the Rams, and I want to get an update on Sam Darnold, just where he's at right now. Charles Cross, day-to-day, anything more on that?
Yeah, just day-to-day with the foot. I mean, you look at the comparison of what Mike said, like Charles day-to-day, Zach out. Like you can see the difference there. Like Charles has a better shot to play. It looks like Charles could even have played Saturday. Like if they really needed him to come back in, and he looked up at the score, like, all right, we're up 30. It's fine. So I would guess, just like as we're sitting here Monday, that Charles can go out there and play. Who knows what his pain tolerance would be, but it's week 21. Ain't nobody okay who's played hundreds of snaps at this point. The more interesting one, or not more interesting, but equally interesting, is that his backup, Josh Jones, who played the last 3 regular season games of the year, including Carolina, Niners, and then the Rams game, he didn't play on Saturday. He's banged up with a knee injury. Amari Kite, an undrafted rookie out of Central Florida, finished the game for Charles. Would Kite be the backup against the Rams? Can Jones play? If Jones plays, how banged up would he be? Because, I mean, it's good to have, like, all right, he's our starter for this situation at any spot, like when a guy's hurt. Like, all right, we got our 11 on offense, defense. Here's the guys we're going to play. But anyone's one play from being knocked out. We just talked about, like Ken will get a bunch of the carries. Ken will start the game. Ken's one play from them needing Cam Akers or something, So you got to have all these backups now. Everyone's moved up the depth chart, and it's massive in this game. You never know. Like, and if these guys do start, do they make it through the entire game? Last time they played the Rams, by the end of in overtime, they didn't have Nick Emenwari or Kobe Bryant, and by overtime of that Rams game that they lost, like it's all the depth is now magnified here on Sunday.
All right, so we'll go back to Saturday for a second. We'll get to the game in a moment, but Sam Darnold, I'll be honest with you, you're kind of following it the day prior. He's questionable. Oh, maybe there's nothing to worry about. He talks to you guys. No, I'm good. There's a 0% chance I'm not going to play. And then the game starts, and everybody's probably on their phones, and they see all you guys reporting. Well, here comes Milroe. Here comes Drew Lock. They're warming up, but there's no sign of Sam Darnold. At that point, was there a thought that maybe he wasn't going to play?
No, I'm not going to lie, Puck. I had the most stress-free Saturday because I trusted my own reporting. Thursday, Sam says, I'm going to play. Great. Friday, Mike says, Sam's going to play. Great. Saturday, I wake up and everyone's texting me. I'm like, what's going on? I slept in because, I had nothing to do. I'm like, Schefter tweets that Sam can't throw. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, well, duh, they had a walkthrough Friday. Why would he throw if he has a bad oblique? Like, that was like, that was the only time I've been mad at Schefter. I was like, dude, you're spoiling my Saturday morning. Legitimately, he had nothing new. The news team at the Athletic hit me up. Hey, we need a new headline. There's no news. What do you guys want from me? I just told you. Sam said he's going to play. Mike said he's going to play. They got to manage it. Like, duh, Sam didn't throw in the walkthrough. So anyway, and then, pregame, another stress-free. I was at a baby shower Saturday afternoon before the game. I didn't show up till like 4. I missed all that padless pregame stuff. I was like, I don't care. He throws. I don't care. I got down there. I was selling books at like 4. Sam ran out there with his jersey on. I took some videos and right back to the concourse. That took about 30 seconds. That was it. I was like, oh, Sam can throw. I thought I never thought, so the long-winded way of saying, I never thought he wasn't going to play because he told us he was going to play. I don't think Sam's a liar, and I don't think Mike McDonald's
and looked fine. And there was the pass, the cup on the sideline where he let it rip. Obviously, the one where he rolled out to his left. The only time that I liked when he rolled out to his left and threw a ball, and he hit Jason in the end zone on that touchdown. I think when he made that, you're like, okay, he looks fine. And you're going to need a same type of. I know people are going to say this, that a same type of performance that he had against the Niners, then they'll win the game. I agree and disagree a little bit. I think yes, and the biggest thing would be don't turn the ball over, right? And that's for any quarterback. I think they're going to need a little bit more out of him on Sunday. Like he's going to have to be a little bit more, especially now with Charbonnet going down. And the quality of the opponent is just better, right? This Rams defense is just better than what the Niners. And overall, they're just a better team. They're going to need more. Would you agree they're going to need more from Sam Darnold Sunday than what they've got maybe in the previous 2 games?
Yeah, for sure. Just because of the difference of the defensive makeup of the 2 teams, right? The Niners are pretty vulnerable up front. They don't have Bosa, they don't have Michael Williams, their first-round rookie. They don't have Fred Warner, so their whole front 7 is just really banged up. So that's where you attack them. That's why the Seahawks ran all over them. The Rams front is stout. They got 2 Pro Bowl edge rushers and Byron Young and Jared Verse. Kobe Turner is a beast. We heard Gray Zabel this week. He was saying, I had 2 of my worst games against the Rams, right? It's because what they have up front, Braden Fisk, their front is real. Their front set, their linebackers are good. Omar Spades, Nathan Landman, like their guys are good. So yeah, you do want to run on them, but where are the Rams vulnerable? Well, it's the secondary. That's where you want to make the plays. I mean, I'm sure the Rams have all the faith in the world in Kobe Durant, and they are the only ones. He's number 14 who gave up the Cole Kmet game tire. So like that's your vulnerability. I don't know if Emmanuel Forbes will play. He hurt his shoulder. He's who knocked that Shaheed potential touchdown away in week 11 down in LA. Will he play? Will Darius Williams play? Like their DBs are where you're vulnerable. So yes, I think that's where you need more from Sam and Jackson, Shaheed and Kupp is like, that's how you move the ball on these guys, not by running it down their throats per se, like you do the Niners. It's by attacking their secondary. But
in a weird way, is that what the Rams would want, even though that is their weakness of their team is their secondary? Because in the 2 games, he's got what? How many? 6 interceptions in 2 games?
6 interceptions in 2 games against them. Yeah, no, exactly. That's exactly what they want. I mean, the Rams, what they do, pick off Caleb like 3 times or something yesterday. Whereas they were the vulnerability on Sunday, they also won the game for the Rams at the same time. Cam Curl picking Caleb off in overtime. So that's exactly what they want. While Sam has played very clean the last few weeks against the Niners, I don't know how instructive that is. I think the sample size is large enough for us to deduce that Chris Shula's Rams defense has Sam's number in a way other teams just don't. Like you said, 6 interceptions in 2 games, and they were all bad. I just rewatched them last night to be sure. They were all bad decisions, bad throws, or some combination of the 2. No fluky tipped ball. Goes off his helmet, guy runs a wrong route. No. They were all bad. Some of them were clean pockets too. So I think, Sam needs to attack their weakness, but we're the ones calling it the weakness. The Rams would be like, attack us if you want, brother. We know we're on the jugs machine all week waiting for 14 to give us one.
Yeah. I thought the one thing when you watch the Bears and the Rams, that the Bears did a good job of getting after Stafford, maybe blitzing a little bit, especially coming up off the edge. You have this in your story that's out today, the athletic.com, where Matt Stafford on dropbacks and starts this year against Seattle, 79 dropbacks against Seattle. He has not been sacked 1 time, nor has he had a turnover. And Seattle, as great as their defense has been, and even that first meeting, great against them, only 7 quarterback hits against Matt Stafford. Can they have that same type of game plan against him, or are they going to have to knock him down on the ground on Sunday?
You got to get him on the ground. You got to. He's too good. He's too good. And I couldn't believe that when I was checking those numbers last night, I was triple checking him.
Incredible.
I was like, there's no way that, how many, that's a lot of dropbacks, Puck. To not take a sack, that's ridiculous. And no, if that happens again, they'll lose. I don't really care what the offense does, what special teams done. If you don't get Stafford on the ground once, you're gonna lose. Like that's just not a sustainable way to attack this team. Their quarterback is old, his back is bad, he got a fully gray beard. You need to get him on the ground. Like that, point blank period. He's too accurate as a quarterback. That's why he hasn't turned it over. Stafford does benefit from DBs not being able to catch sometimes. So maybe they'll give him one. He gave Ernest one last year that Ernest dropped, week 9. But otherwise, he doesn't really put it in harm's way too much against these guys, as far as I can remember. So that's the big thing. I'm gonna talk to my editor after we're done here about what he wants me to write. This week, what our plan is going to be. I wonder. I might switch what I was going to do and focus more on that, because for me, Puck, that's the game. Can you get Stafford on the ground? Can you hit him? Can you get some sacks, get some pressures, force him into some bad throws? Because if not, we've seen, Puck, that he's not worried about this dark side defense. He threw for a bazillion yards last time. I'm sure he feels comfortable he can do it again, because now he has Devontae this time, who he didn't have last week or in the last meeting.
Okay, a neutral field, who do you think would win?
Seahawks, Rams? That's a good question. Probably the Rams, I would say. I mean, they're about as close as it gets. The other variable is probably special teams, because the Rams legitimately can lose games because of their special teams, and the Seahawks can legitimately win games because of their special teams, and we saw that play out in Week 16. Shaheed takes that back, and that changed the entire game, just like he changed the game on Saturday night. I mean, the Rams have fired their special teams coordinator, but I'm not sure they've gotten much better. I'd have to go dig into the tape to be sure, but probably the Rams. I mean, they won in Week 1. They won in Week 11. They were up 2 touchdowns in Week 16. I don't know. It's very close. It's about as close as it gets.
Well, it's what makes having home field advantage so important, and then having that number 1 seed, because what's an advantage for Seattle is they've had to go to 2 places, travel all the way to Carolina, travel all the way to Chicago, and games that went down to the wire, right? One last minute of a game, overtime. They're worn out and spent. So that is a huge advantage for Seattle there on Sunday. We'll wait until later in the week to hear what your prediction is and see which way you're going to go. But tell everyone, you got theathletic.com. You've got the Seahawks Man-to-Man podcast. Tell everyone when those shows are coming out and where they can find you.
Yeah, our game recap of Seahawks Man-to-Man is up on wherever you get your podcasts right now, including our YouTube channel. We're going to do our One Big Thing and our game preview on Tuesday to drop Wednesday. We'll do our film review on Friday. Usually we look back at the previous game. We'll talk to Chris. I might actually want to look back at the Rams game and do some film from that, because that actually might be more instructive as we preview the NFC Championship. And I only got 2 hardcovers left in my book, but Barnes & Noble has more. So I'm actually going to go get more from them and then go sell those to people in person at the game so I can sign them for them, because they're flying off the shelves. I'm very happy about that. So I will have more books there's a Barnes & Noble right by my house. I'm going up there later today. I will have more books on Sunday. So hit me up. Let me know. Meet me on the concourse by the Tunnel Club entrance, and I will sign your book on Sunday.
Great stuff, Mike. Look forward to talking to you again next week. Thank you.
I appreciate it, Puck. Go Cougs.
Go Cougs.
Drink Georgetown Tavern Beer, your new locally brewed domestic-style lager. 4.2% alcohol. Cheap, good, local.
Yeah, big thanks to Michael-Shawn Dugar for joining us as he does every single Monday. Again, read all of his work at theathletic.com. Check out his Seahawks Man-to-Man podcast along with Chris Kidd, wherever you find your podcasts. And hopefully we'll maybe check in with Mike maybe later in the week again. And again, the news, if you don't know, if you started the show late, didn't start from the beginning, Zach Charbonnet's out, ACL tear. So they'll be without Zach Charbonnet. But to recap what Dugar said, George Holani could be an option. They can still open up his window to return to practice. So he could be the third running back or even the backup running back. They've got Jones, who was the third string running back last week, and he was active. They also have Cam Akers on the practice squad as well. But obviously this means a much bigger role for Ken Walker. And he's the type of back that you can probably give him 25 to 30 touches, maybe even more, and he would be fine. All right, we've got the national championship game coming up tonight, Indiana and Miami. John Canzano is in Miami. He could not be on the show tomorrow because he'll be traveling. He's got obligations today right now. So I caught up with Canzano early this morning. Well, early for me, late for him there in Miami to get a preview of Indiana and Miami and other news and notes in college football. So a day early visit, Miami Vice with John Canzano, all brought to you by Flat Stick Pub. If it's fun you desire, it's fun you're going to get at Flat Stick Pub. It doesn't matter what the occasion is, whether it's date night, guys night, ladies night, or large group event, Flat Stick Pub's got you covered. They have 6 great locations across the Pacific Northwest, from Pioneer Square to Kirkland, South Lake Union, Spokane, Bellingham, and Redmond. All locations offer the best pub experience in Washington. 2 rules at Flat Stick Pub: drink local and have fun. Pretty simple. So if you like to have fun, love local beer, and great tasting food, make Flat Stick Pub your next spot. Visit them at flatstickpub.com. Here we go. It's a special visit. It's a Miami Vice with John Canzano, who's joining us live from Miami. The site, of course, of the national title game tonight, Indiana and the Miami Hurricanes. His weekly appearance brought to you by Flat Stick Pub. Cougar owned and operated 6 great locations across the state of Washington: Kirkland, Pioneer Square, South Lake Union, Bellingham, and Redmond. Of course, read all of John's work, johncanzano.com. Follow him on social media, John Canzano BFT, and check out the YouTube page at John Canzano. He's got a live show coming up today. What time today are you going live?
I will be live around noon. I will do YouTube live at noon, and then obviously game coverage at johncanzano.com. But, it's quite a scene here, Puck. A lot of parties last night. Went to the media party on a yacht, 4-deck yacht. It's not the people you want to be partying with, the media people, but really cool to kind of be on a yacht and kind of walk the 4 decks and see all the things that yacht people do. How does
a national championship game, like the media, the party, and everything leading up to it, compare to a Super Bowl?
The Super Bowl is still way bigger. I mean, way more corporate events, corporate sponsors. Adidas had a big party here last night because they obviously have both teams. They've got the Heisman winner in Fernando Mendoza. So they threw a big event. A lot of local Miami people, who are excited about the game are throwing parties. But when you go to a Super Bowl, it's like every corporate sponsor is throwing their own event. And while the playoff is trending in that direction, you can really feel that they're wringing the assets and trying to wring more money out of it. The Super Bowl is still way bigger.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to the game. Indiana's heavy favorites. I mean, it's been 8. It's gone to 8.5. It's dropped to 7.5. It's back up to 8.5. I'm going to ask you this question. Indiana finishes this off tonight. Best sports story since?
Maybe ever. The greatest turnaround ever. I mean, the fact that Curt Cignetti came in and look, no doubt he's been aided by the fact that, in this era with the portal and NIL, you can pivot, you can fix things quicker, and it's proven. The fact that the Final Four did not include Georgia, Ohio State, or Alabama tells you something's changed, right? So, Indiana has leaned into that. They made a good hire in Cignetti. He brought 13 players with him from JMU. He brought 6 assistant coaches from JMU. We've seen other schools try to copy that. Washington State hiring Jimmy Rogers was not far off that blueprint. And Brett Vigen at Montana State will be a guy that everybody's talking about if you want to copy what Cignetti's done at Indiana, but that's ignoring that part of this is Cignetti. Like there's a little bit of magic in what he's doing, and I expect he's going to have a line at his door with people wanting to study that.
I mean, obviously Miami is going to have the crowd behind him, right? It's in their backyard. Mario Cristobal played there. He wants to bring back the prominence and the lore of Hurricane football. He's bristled many times about, is the U back? Well, no, because the U won't be back until they win it. His team obviously will be prepared. How do they pull off the upset tonight and get Indiana?
Well, look, Mario looked locked in yesterday at that news conference, and it to me, we watched him for 4 years at Oregon. This is who he is. He wants to be physical. They want to be violent at the point of attack. The difference with this Miami team and some of the teams that he had at Oregon that we saw up close was that this team is built to dominate in the trenches. The defensive front is disruptive. I think that they can hang with Indiana in a way that some other teams didn't. Alabama and Oregon most recently. I think that if Miami wants to win this game, it has to ugly it up. It has to make it a tug of war. It cannot give up, special teams plays. You cannot give up an easy 7 on special teams or on a punt or a kickoff, and try to make this a 20-17 game, a 21-14 game. I'm sure that Cristobal is poring over that Ohio State Indiana Big Ten championship film and looking at, how Ohio State played that game, because I think, Miami wants to play that kind of game today.
Yeah, because you go back and you look at that game. In Miami did not do much on offense. They were under 300 yards in that game. They held Ohio State to 332 yards, but won by 10, where, Indiana needed that field goal late to win that game and to move on. So I would think, I don't know if it's as, I think you base it on the common opponents. It doesn't seem that the line mirrors what maybe it could be tonight in Miami.
I think the market is a little bit, it's buying Indiana after those blowout wins. Look, Oregon wasn't ready. Oregon was a year early to this stage, and Indiana took care of business. This is a lineup of grown men playing for Indiana. The average college experience, 4.3 years. Miami's right behind them at 4.1 years per starter. And so I do think this is going to be closer than the 8.5-point spread. I think unless Indiana gets a cheap touchdown on a pick six like Oregon gave him, or a kickoff or a punt return, I think Miami can stay in this game. And I think it's in the 20s. I think people who are saying this is a 35-30 game are missing it. I think it's more 23-17, 21-14. It's going to be a lower scoring game.
Kirk Cignetti, they win tonight. There are so many openings in the NFL. Now there's 10, right, with McDermott being fired from the Bills this morning. Do you think he entertains the NFL?
I don't know at his age and the things that he's talked about building, but it's not lost on me that, this was a guy that was at JMU that was overlooked, and there were a lot of schools that had an opportunity to go hire Kurt Cignetti. There were schools that could have hired Mario Cristobal, but nobody would touch him until he sort of got the blessing of being at Oregon and winning games. So I think if this game tells you anything, we have two coaches who just a few years ago were at JMU and Oregon, and now they're at Indiana and Miami. I think anything's on the table, Puck.
All right, some of the news coming out of the weekend as we get ready for the national championship game tonight. So there's a story out there now. Are athletic directors in schools now pushing for no cap on NIL money, right?
Well, some of the top ones are. Right, because they can win in a way the others can't. Right, like that can be the ultimate tipping of the playing field. So if you're at a traditional power who can go above the cap at 20.5 million, you've always been able to outspend other people. Why wouldn't you support a system now that says, hey, there's no salary cap, there's unrestricted free agency with no cap? It's Major League Baseball essentially, where the Dodgers and the Yankees and the Red Sox get to outspend everybody. I don't know that there's going to be prevailing support for that. I also think it's really dangerous if you're college football, because if the trend is that you are going to become, you're going to collectively bargain against the players and they're going to unionize one day, do you really want to start from a position where there's no cap? Like, you'd be potentially off the rails there.
Okay, but aren't we already there anyways? The $20.5 million is just what the school can spend. That doesn't mean like Miami can spend up to $20.5 million from the school, but then the Kane Collective, they can then go spend as much as they want, correct?
Yeah, that clearinghouse is not doing a very good job of shooting down very many of these NIL deals, right? These deals that are kind of, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But they're not doing a good job of regulating that. And so, there is it's kind of a soft cap right now at 20.5 plus whatever you can get in NIL. And Dante Moore is a great example of this at Oregon. I originally thought, okay, he comes back to Oregon, he could get $4 or $5 million. I'm now hearing that his total compensation package is closer to $7.5 million.
Jeez.
So you look at the early entry underclassmen who declared for the NFL draft. 63 underclassmen declared for the draft. There was only one quarterback with eligibility who declared for the draft, Simpson out of Alabama.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you? It tells me that the premium players who can attract the top dollars are getting money that makes them think hard about staying in college. And in fact, they're picking college over the NFL right now. So you have to kind of surmise that, yes, schools are spending above the 20.5. There's a lot more money. That could just be about a half of the amount of money that's out there for some of these top teams.
Well, and Simpson would actually be wise to come back. I mean, there's been reports of Miami offering him up to $6.5 million. And again, he's going to get more likely because he'll be probably a top pick in the draft because of there's no talented quarterbacks coming out, but he actually would be wise to come back. And it's a good decision for Dante Moore to get more reps. What does this mean for Raiola, though? Is Raiola going to still stay at Oregon, just going to be a backup for a year?
Yeah. Well, I think the plan, the blueprint there is what they all got from Dante Moore, right?
Okay.
Dante Moore sat for a year. He watched Dylan Gabriel play. And I think what Oregon ideally wants to do is get a guy into the system, keep him there for a year, pay him, let him take a deep breath. And Dante Moore was a kind of a reclamation project, right? Yeah. You saw him at UCLA. It wasn't working. Raiola, same thing. At Nebraska, not working. And so I think that these guys are viewing it as, hey, there's a place that I can go where I can make good money. I can sit and be a backup and have an ideal situation to develop. And, it's kind of the short-term blueprint that Oregon has taken. And I never for a second thought Dante Moore was going to declare for the draft. I mean, it wasn't even based on the poor performance he had against Indiana with 3 turnovers. It's just, he's 20. He's not ready. There's, if there's $7.5 million left for him in college, then he'd be dumb to go to the NFL.
I want to go back to Indiana for a second. There are all these, you probably have seen this, these rumors swirling around that they're cheating. Yeah. That they have tapped into the opponent's playbooks. This is like Spygate 2 again. How much of that is a chatter down there?
I think some of it stems from Connor Stallions and what happened in the Big Ten. And how do you explain how good they are? And I think people are just struggling to explain that Curt Cignetti has built culture and that this era is for him. If this is Ohio State doing what he's doing, nobody questions it. Yeah. If this is Oregon doing it, nobody's questioning it. But I just think the bigger explanation is he's got a talented, deep, experienced team. He's a really good coach. He does a really good job of kind of maintaining focus within his program. The news conference yesterday with Mario Cristobal and Cignetti was interesting because neither one of those guys wanted to say anything, but they were almost going back and forth trying to outduel each other with who could be more boring and say less. And it got a little bit amusing and entertaining at one point when someone asked Cignetti, hey, what would it mean to your program to win a national championship? And he says, it would mean we're national champions. And then they'd say Cristobal, and he goes, it would mean we're national champions. And it was like Mario was like, that was really good. I'm just going to copy you.
Yeah. What playoff expansion? That was a topic leading up to the title game. Some that want to push for 16. There's others that want 24. This is a decision that comes down because of between the Big Ten and the SEC, what they want. But it appears we're at a stalemate.
Yeah. Not surprised there. It's really the Big Ten and the SEC at a stalemate, and everybody else kind of, is wondering how that staring contest is going to be broken. I had somebody tell me before the meeting started that they anticipated that the date would be pushed back again and that there wouldn't be a resolution. Now, they're not quite at that point yet, but, I think everybody knows they'd like to go to at least 16. The Big Ten wants 24 and has some fun ideas surrounding that. I don't want to shoot everything down because there is some interesting stuff in there involving the conference championship games, how those could be used as play-in games instead. Sure. I think there's some logic in that. But there's a real pushback against allowing the Big Ten and others to have multiple automatic bids. I mean, I just think you start down that road and it's hard to unwind that at any point.
All right, Canzano's picks. Which way you leaning tonight?
I like Indiana to win the game, but I think it's going to be close. Those of you who focus on the point spread, I like Miami and the 8.5 in this game, but I think Indiana wins it. I just think they're too experienced. They're too good. Miami at home makes it dicey. I would call your attention, though, to the 1984 Orange Bowl. It was an undefeated Nebraska against Miami in the Orange Bowl. Sure. There's some hints of that in this matchup and I think a lot of the Miami fans are kind of looking at it going, hey, they have a puncher's chance to win this game.
All right. Live show airs when again on YouTube?
Noon. It'll be noon Pacific time right here in Miami. I'll just, I'll give my final thoughts before the game, maybe talk a little bit about what I learned between now and kickoff and connect with people on the YouTube channel.
You should do it via poolside with one of those like Havana hats on.
Do you want a little tour? Do you want a little tour of the media center?
And
you want a
white
tour?
linen. As long as it doesn't have any of the old media people eating.
Okay,
I just don't need to see those
no,
people.
let's go here. Let's go right into the media center now. There's going to be a bunch of people at a buffet. There's going to be a big screen TV, but I'll just give you a little brief tour of the amenities as it pertains to this
Somebody
CFP.
Complaining that the eggs are too cold.
There are going to be complaints, but here you walk into Club CFP is where you go. As you come into the room, I'm just going to give you a scan of the room. You can see what these media people who are always complain about the buffet.
Hey, they didn't sign up to be on the show.
You want to see the buffet? Sure, these people would be happy to.
Yeah, I'm sure Pam's going to be, hey, stop showing everyone what I'm putting on my plate. It's ruining my diet.
That's 100%. And so, look, you got people watching. This is where people were watching the football games last night. And then they have this little area, Puck. It's kind of interesting. It's a little snack wall.
Okay. Well, I like a snack wall.
Why don't we have a snack wall at our houses? You know what I mean?
They're called their pantries.
Can you imagine? Again, for media who complain about, hey, the Wi-Fi doesn't work, or, oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine I had to wait for the shuttle for 5 minutes. This is the life of a media member. We're not holding jackhammers. We're not tarring a roof. We need to stop complaining. I guess that's the big takeaway from this.
Yeah, I agree. All right. 12 o'clock live show, John Canzano on YouTube, Canzano Live. Also check out all of his work, johncanzano.com. Have fun tonight. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Puck. Take care.
If it's fun you desire, it's fun you're going to get at Flat Stick Pub. It doesn't matter what the occasion is, whether it's date night, guys night, ladies night, or large group event, Flat Stick Pub's got you covered. They have 6 great locations across the Pacific Northwest, from Pioneer Square to Kirkland, South Lake Union, Spokane, Bellingham, and Redmond. All locations offer the best pub experience in Washington. 2 rules at Flat Stick Pub: drink local and have fun. Pretty simple. So if you like to have fun, love local beer, and great tasting food, make Flat Stick Pub your next spot. Visit them at flatstickpub.com. Again, big thanks to John Canzano, catching up with him earlier this morning, and his full appearance again, of course, part of the Daily Puck Drop on both YouTube and the podcast pages as well, Apple and Spotify. And be sure to check out, whenever you're watching or listening to this, he's doing a live show at noon on Monday, today, leading up to the national title game tonight between Indiana and Miami. And again, John Canzano there on his YouTube page. And again, thank you to Flat Stick Pub, who brings you Canzano every single week. We had him on today. He'll be traveling tomorrow, so we got him on here on a Monday to preview the game, which, again, all of our attention this week is going to be Seahawks and Rams. And, of course, the news coming out this morning, Zach Charbonnet out. He's got an ACL tear, and so he will be done for the season. They continue to monitor Charles Cross, and he's kind of a day-to-day there with his injury. So we'll kind of wait and see throughout the week whether or not he will be able to play. All right, before we get on out of here, we got Hey What the Puck, but we also got on this day, January 19th. And on this day, of course, brought to you by one of our new sponsors, Hive Social. That is HYV Social. Have you downloaded the Hive Social app yet? Do it today. It is the official Puck Sports mobile app. It is the best way to find friends near you, whether just big group events, sporting events, perfect for this weekend on Sunday. Where is everyone going to be watching the game? Whether you're going into the stadium or not, or pregame, jump on Hive Social, download it to your iPhone today or to your Android phone. It's available in both, is Hive Social. Again, that's HYV Social. So go to Google Play and go to the iOS store. You can discover events in your neighborhood. You can plan hangouts with your friends and make real connections. Again, just go to the App Store and search Hive Social. That is HYV Social. Available, again, free on iOS and Android. It is the official social meetup app for Puck Sports. Big thanks to Hive Social being the proud sponsor to On This Day. All right, on this day, January 19th, and we'll start off with a big one on this day, January 19th. Maybe some of you forgot what happened on this day, January 19th. Let's remind everyone what happened on January 19th, 2014.
This game is over. Knocked in the air off the hands of Richard Sherman.
Tell him again.
Richard, let me ask you the final play. Take me through it.
Well, I'm the best corner in the game. When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're going to get. Don't you ever talk about me.
Who was talking about you?
Crabtree, don't you open your mouth about the best. Or I'm going to set it for you real quick. LOB.
That's right. 2014 NFC Championship game. The Seahawks hold on a victory over Colin Kaepernick, Jim Harbaugh, and the San Francisco 49ers with the tipping it into the hands pass intended there for Crabtree. Sherman tips into the hands of Malcolm Smith. Game over. They go to their second Super Bowl, and then they rout the Denver Broncos. I still don't understand Why, in this age, we still don't have a statue of that play? It's somewhere on Occidental. Like, why is there not a statue of that play out there? There should be. That was one of the most incredible football games I've ever watched in person. It was great. It was loud, just like it was loud this past weekend against the 49ers, just like it's going to be loud this Sunday against the Rams. But that happening January 19th, 2014. Also happening, a significant play on January 19th, happened in 2002. The Tuck Rule. Does everyone remember the Tuck Rule? Patriots, Raiders, AFC Championship game. The start of the New England Patriots dynasty. I remember it got started because of the injury to Drew Bledsoe. Brady comes in. They play in the AFC title game, the divisional game, I should say. And the Tuck Rule was from 1999 to 2013, which the rule at that time treated a quarterback losing the ball while attempting to tuck it back in as an incomplete pass and not a fumble if their arm had moved forward. It was the dumbest rule ever. The fact that it lasted 14 years was dumb. Patriots go on to beat the Raiders that day. It was a clear fumble. Everybody knows it was a fumble. The Patriots know it was a fumble, but because of the Tuck Rule, it was ruled an incomplete pass. They would go on again to win the game. They had a game-winning field goal there by Adam Vinatieri. In 2013, the rule was eliminated. 2013, on January 19th, Lance Armstrong, disgraced U.S. cyclist, admits finally for the first time that he doped in all 7 of his Tour de France victories and that he was stripped of all those titles. January 19th, 2000, Michael Jordan buys a part of the Washington Wizards. He would go on to play for the Wizards as well. Happy birthday on January 19th, going out to, and this guy's got a special place in my heart. He won me a lot of money last year in my gambling golf league. Happy birthday to Tommy Fleetwood, who turns 35 today, 12 professional wins, 1 win on the PGA Tour. It had happened last year in the Tour Championship, and thank frickin' God Tommy Fleetwood won that because he won the Puckett household a lot of money. Happy birthday going out to Tommy Fleetwood. Happy birthday going out to one of the best musicians of all time. It's where the CEO of the Puckett family, it's her go-to karaoke song, and artist Janis Joplin. Born on this day in Port Arthur, Texas. She would have been 52 today. Obviously died tragically young, but 27 years of age. Classic songs. I've heard these a million times. Me and Bobby McGee and Piece of My Heart. Janis Joplin, happy birthday to her. Also, happy birthday on January 19th to the best left tackle in the history of the National Football League, Mr. Verbose himself, Walter Jones. Seahawks legend, 4-time All-Pro, 9-time Pro Bowler, Hall of Famer, turns 52 today. That is on this day, January 19th. Again, brought to you by Hive Social. That's HYV Social. Download the new Puck Sports Meetup Social app today. Great way to connect with friends. Great way to connect with sports fans. If you're going out to the game this weekend, trying to find a place where a bunch of Seahawks fans are going to be for the Rams game leading up to the NFC Championship, Hive Social is your #1 sports app, and it's the official sports meetup app for Puck Sports. That's HYV Social. Download it today on the iOS and Google Play Store. All right, hey, what the puck, as we wrap up the show, brought to you by Restoration One of North Seattle, your restoration company that's going to let you avoid the stress of water, fire, and mold damage with their property restoration services, locally owned and operated. Make them your first call when damages affect your residential or commercial property. 206-817-8917. Visit them online at restoration1.com, North Seattle franchise. We wrap up with this, and I'll just conclude what we talked about earlier in the show. There is only one person that should raise the flag, and it's the only person that should ever raise the flag moving forward. They're undefeated when he raised the flag, and it's a history and a tradition I think that they should keep. I would have a video montage on that board Sunday afternoon of the late Paul Allen raising the flag. Why? Because, one, he did it before every NFC Championship game, and they won them all. But the bigger symbolic meaning of having Paul Allen do it and having a video tribute to having Paul Allen and showing all the fans a picture of him, of raising it before the Carolina game, having him raise it before the Niners game, and having him raise it before the Packers game is this. We wouldn't be sitting in that stadium Sunday afternoon at 3:30 if it weren't for Paul Allen. We wouldn't have that great football stadium if it weren't for Paul Allen. You wouldn't have John Schneider. You wouldn't have Pete Carroll. You wouldn't have Mike McDonald. You wouldn't have a Super Bowl championship if it wasn't for that guy. And I think every opportunity and every chance they get to thank him for that, I think they should do it. He was just an incredible owner. He saved football. He saved the Seahawks. He is the right choice to do it. I hope they do it. I think it'd be pretty cool that you establish that every time they play in that championship game, there's a video of him raising the flag. I think it'd be pretty awesome. Hopefully they will do it. That's Hey What the Puck, brought to you by Restoration One of North Seattle. Reach out to them at restoration1.com, North Seattle franchise. Thank you for everybody watching and listening today. Thank you all sponsors, Lindbeck Lumber. A big thanks to Georgetown Brewery, as always, Flat Stick Pub, and Restoration One, and Hive Social. Thank you to gym sponsors on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at Clean Streak, Brotherton Cadillac, and the Angry Beaver. Today's Daily Puck Drop, find it up on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel. Also find the Daily Puck Drop on your favorite podcast platforms and at pucksports.com. When you're there, sign up to become a member of the Pucks Posse. Just $5 a month. You support all the free content. In addition, we give you bonus shows like our baseball coverage with Ryan Divish, Inside Pitch, the Sports Pit with weekly episodes coming out every Tuesday with Matt Stretch Johnson, KJ Arntz on Thursday with Mitch Levy, and be sure to check out the Garage with Gas Take 5 podcast. It's going to come out on Wednesday this week because Gas is traveling. He's at the national championship game tonight, so they didn't record today, and he'll be traveling tomorrow, so they're going to record it there on Wednesday. Thank you again to everybody watching and listening. Appreciate it as always. Tomorrow we'll be back with you. We'll have a real long segment coming up tomorrow with our guy Danny Kelly, Danny B. Kelly of The Ringer and Netflix fame. Now we'll get more into the weeds and in-depth Seahawks and Rams coming up on Sunday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. As always, we promise to be better.
No shoes, no ties.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah. I was born to lick your face. I was born to rub you, but you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for? We like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese.